Heavily hyped, mentioned many times in beast mode fragrance videos. A #1 recommendation among cheap fragrances under $40 from discounters, of course. The long overdue review of Uomo's signature from Salvatore Ferragamo. Stay tuned. So this is one I've been meaning to get around to for a very, very long time. Obviously, I don't have the box anymore, but we can go over the bottle, which is a sleek matte black finish, name of the company and line with the flanker name Signature. Ferragamo in crazy letters all over the sides. Fragrance information on the bottom. It says Salvatore Ferragamo up top. Does have this little stopper, but you can close it to where it doesn't spray by twisting it, similar to the Bulgari bottles. And the sprayer does put out pretty far. And then there's that scent. Let's get into the scent. So when you first spray this one up top, you're going to get hit with a lot of different things. It's going to remind you of a little bit of a Versace Eros opening, even though there's no geranium or mint or vanilla in this one. It has a little bit of that Eros, La Nuit de l'Homme au Electrique, Halloween Man X type of sweet, leathery, soft coffee opening. But as it starts to settle in more, this beautiful cinnamon and cardamom start to come in, and the tonka bean, even though in the base, is pretty heavily featured pretty much start to finish. That's where a lot of this sweetness is coming from that you're going to get up top. It does have a slight powdery accord to it, but not really a whole lot. This isn't a heavily powdery tonka bean. It's more just a nice, soft, sweet tonka bean. And speaking of soft, there's a beautiful soft leather note that comes in. You get a little bit of it up top, but as it dries and settles down, you get more and more leather. Once you start getting into the heart and the transition of this fragrance, it's mostly leather, tonka bean, and cinnamon to my nose. And then same thing goes in the dry down, where the roasted coffee becomes very prominent with the tonka bean, and the leather softens up quite a bit. The cardamom and pink pepper and things like that that you may get a little nuanced hint of early on are long gone at that point. It doesn't change a whole lot. It's not a linear fragrance, but it's not heavily nuanced either. There are a few changes in it. Like I said, if you can pick up a little bit of the citrus and pink pepper up top, which I don't really get much of, it's kind of not really distinguishable to me. I'm sure it's there, but it doesn't really jump out at me. Main accords and notes to me is the warm spice, the cinnamon, a little touch of the cardamom, the tonka bean, the leather, and definitely this beautiful roasted coffee. This is very similar to Halloween Man X, with this one being a little bit, the quality's a little bit better on this one, whereas I do enjoy both. But if I had to lean one way or the other, if I had to pick one, it's definitely Uomo's signature. This one's going to run you a few dollars more. This one's right below. A tester's in the mid-30s, right under $40 for a full presentation, 100 ml last I checked, which was, a few weeks ago from discounters. This is kind of a must-have for the cooler weather, in my opinion. It's a compliment machine. It's a beast performer. The projection's not annoying, but it's definitely pretty loud. And it's an 8 to 10 hour fragrance for me on my skin, especially if I spray my clothes. I definitely get every bit of that 10 hours, 8 to 9 on skin. The clothing, it'll be there the next day if you don't wash your clothes that night. But this is a beautiful fragrance. This is one that I urge people to try. This is one of the best fall and winter fragrances, in my opinion, and early spring, depending on the climate you live in, which now I live in a colder climate, so I can definitely enjoy this one well into the spring. I just wouldn't really gear this one towards the summer. Performance is above average, like I said. It's pretty much a beast mode fragrance in longevity and bordering beast mode in projection. It's a bona fide cheapie because I consider under $40 falling into that cheapie territory, this being on the higher end of what I would consider a cheapie. But this is a stunner. This is a stellar cheapie. This is one of the best cheapies on the market. Yes, price went up a few dollars from what it used to be a little over a year ago, but this is still worth $35 to $40 all day, every day of the week. Blind buy safe as long as you like the accords I mentioned. A little warm spicy, some sweetness, a beautiful leather, and coffee. As long as you like that, I would say it's a safe blind buy for you. If you're not sure if you like those types of fragrances, I don't know where and how you can sample it, but I would definitely try to sample it at Salvatore Ferragamo's store, at a designer mall, for example. I know you'll be able to sample it over there because I've been to a Ferragamo store and they have all of the fragrances that are in production. So you can definitely sample it there. Blind buy safe only if you like those accords, but for most people it's not necessarily going to be just an easy blind buy. But for me it was. I absolutely love this one. I can't stop recommending it to you guys. And like I said, fantastic for the cooler weather. Once again, that's Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo Signature. Quick thoughts and notes on this one. I've been meaning to do a little bit more in-depth review than the usual list that it gets featured on because I've featured this one many times. I love this fragrance. It's been #1 on several lists on this channel because I think it's a stunner. This stuff is freaking incredible. Oh, it's so good. It really, really is. And if you have Halloween Man X already, I would say you don't need this one. But if you don't have that yet, this is the better of the two, even though Halloween Man X is a little bit cheaper and it's kind of a little bit louder. Their longevity's about what and what, but I just feel like this one's got a little bit better quality to it, but you can't go wrong with either. But of course, I definitely lean towards Uomo Signature. And until next time, do me a real quick favor and go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. How many of you know exactly where I'm coming from and already have a bottle of this or have smelled it before and just for some reason or another haven't pulled the trigger on a bottle yet? Maybe it's time to get your hands on it. Let me know down in the comments what you think of Uomo Signature. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on this, you give it a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.